Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and asked yourself, why can't I be just like them? Like everyone else have found their people, their pace, the purpose, but you're still standing on the outside watching them, wondering how they figure it out. You try to follow, you join the clubs, you chase the trends, you talk the things they talk about, you do everything you're supposed to do, but no matter how hard you try, it never quite clicks. It's like they can sense that you're not fully invested, like they know you're just performing. You wear the mask, but it doesn't fool them. And the thing that hurts the most, you don't have many friends. And what's even worse, you can't even understand why. Is it because you're too quiet, strange, something wrong with you? You're just not meant for this world, for their world. Because every time you try to follow their path, it feels hollow, tedious even, like you're shaving down parts of yourself just to fit in. They seem fulfilled, like they found their rhythm, but when you try to walk the same path, it just doesn't speak anything to you. You play along, but deep down, you know that you're not in the same game. So you start to ask yourself, where do I fit in? Is that what it takes to belong? Do I even want it? If you ever felt that way, well, you're not alone. So let's talk a little bit about what that means and what we supposed to do with that. Most people aren't chasing some grand vision. They're chasing comfort, stability, simplicity. You study, work, family, you work again, get a pay raise, you go on vacation, you get married, you have a child, you get a mortgage. There's nothing wrong with that, actually. In fact, there's some kind of beauty in it. Kind of a beauty you can see in a temple. It's sacred, still, untouchable. Something you expected to admire and revere, but maybe even make video essays about, but never really step into it, never inhabit, and most certainly never question it. But you can't help it, you do question it. Why does this life feels more like a list of chores than, well, life? Why does settling down feels like giving up? Why do we act like the point of life is to stay busy? What happens after we die? Why no one is talking about this? You try to bring it up and conversation inevitably still goes back to the same. What we're going to do on the weekend, and who posted what, and who gained weight, and who lost money, who married who, and something inside you wants to scream and it's like, who cares? Yeah? Who cares? So you kind of come to a conclusion that there's no place for you here. Or maybe at least not in these conversations. So eventually you just shut down. You stop talking, you stop reaching out, you stop expecting. So instead, maybe you lose yourself in games, in some online world, where at least their rules make sense. Or maybe you spend hours alone in your room scrolling through your phone, looking at other people's lives that are so different from yours. Maybe you start lying to yourself. That's all right. I don't need any of that. I'm fine. I don't care. Or maybe you run to another company, another city, another country, anywhere that doesn't feel the same. Well, I did all of those. I closed off, I numbed out, I ran. Nothing grand gestures, no middle finger to the world, just one day I quit my job and packed my stuff and Gotta take it to another country. I told myself I'll be chasing something new and a new life, a fresh start, a second chance. But deep down, I think I just wanted to find a proof that it's not that is something wrong with me, that I am the way I am. Well, that was my version of running. And at first it worked out. Well, at least it felt like it did. Everything was very unfamiliar, but in a very good way. Going outside to buy some food on the street when there's was an adventure. Talking to a guy in my hostel in a language I could barely speak. Felt like a scene out of a movie. And I wasn't the outcast anymore. I wasn't the outsider. I was the traveler, the interesting one. My awkwardness became charm, and the silence became mystery. People were curious to talk to me. They listened to what I had to say, and for a good moment I felt like visible. I felt seen. So running away was the solution? Well, that's what I thought. But time has a way of revealing things that novelty tries to hide. Slowly I realized that the structure of the society was still there. People were still chasing the same jobs, the same goals, living under the same blueprint. Yeah, different language, different culture, but it's pretty much the same thing. And it's not that I stopped being wrong. I was just kind of interested. I was a curio. I was a novelty. I was like a distraction to their routines. So when the charm wore off and the surface cracked, I found myself back to the same point I start from. I don't belong here any more than I belong back home. When that realization came to me, I had a very strong urge many times to just give up, go back, settle down, stop asking stupid questions, and just fit in the best I could and pretend that it was enough. Because living like this, like in a very different way, it was exhausting. And there is no one clapping for you. It's very lonely, extremely lonely actually. I was lucky that I had some friends nearby in my life that gave me some advice. Very simple words actually, but very difficult to live by. Well, what they say is, just be yourself. Being alone isn't loneliness, it's solitude. It's an opportunity to be with yourself and to experience the world at your own pace. Okay, when I was listening to this, I was like, what does that even mean? Just be yourself. Felt like one of those, motivational speeches they give you when they just want you to shut up and stop bothering them. So now I'm supposed to pretend that me being lonely, sitting alone in my room is some kind of a noble solitude, like I'm a monk in a monastery, like I'm a philosopher on a mountain. Just kind of an excuse for yourself that, yeah, I'm alone, but it's all good. But kind of, well, what else? What other choice did I have? I really didn't, so I went with it. I tried it to reframe my way of thinking. And something did kind of shift a little bit in my mind. I didn't really belong anywhere yet. Well, yet, at least. Maybe in the future. But that doesn't feel like a life sentence. It's more like a call to adventure. There is no place yet that I have found where I belong, or even if this world doesn't have such a place, well then, how about I go and make one for myself? Not by changing myself, not by conforming other people, but finding people like me, scattered around the world, who are stuck and looking for the answers, I guess. I still have these days when everything just feels kind of pointless. Like all the questions that I feel that I already solved, they come back with double, triple the strength. And yeah, but the main difference is that I don't run from them. Kind of sit down and think them through. I don't have the answers. I'm kind of in the middle of the road myself right now. But I do know that there are people like me, like you. People who are searching, questioning, who want to understand the world and themselves. That's why I wanted to make that video, to reflect on those ideas, to share my whatever little findings I have with you, and hopefully hear back from you. If any of this speaks to you on any level, please let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe, tune in for my next video. I'll be really curious to hear what has been on your mind. You may not belong to this society, but at least know this: you're not alone who feels that way.